and then we'll move on to that. And I'm going to name the agenda items for those of us who are out there without an agenda. It says call to order, president, attendees, invocation, pledge of allegiance, establishing quorum, approve agenda, citizen comments on agenda items, and then it reads, further reads, secretary report, treasurer's report, guest speaker. Then there's a series of committee reports, old business, bylaw amendment proposals, meeting date change, new business. There's one that I added, and I'm gonna let you know we'll do that on our own. It's setting up executive committee meetings, citizen concerns for the good of the community. That's gonna be 2 minutes. So you can put it on your card if you need to, and you'll have 2 minutes to respond to that, just in case. Board member comments, that's the same one. Adjournment before 8 o'clock. Those are the items on the agenda. Having said that, we have called the meeting to order already. Attendees, Mr. Green has been kind enough to establish a roster to see whether or not we have a quorum. And Mr. Green, I'm going to ask, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do. We have 16 present out of 26.
All right, so we do have a quorum. We have established that. And before I go much further, Mr. Green, would you, and I forgot already, because I had to say all these other things. Mr. Green, would you be kind enough to lead us in invocation, and then we'll go to the pledge of allegiance.
Father, thank you for the opportunity to come into your house. Wherever you are is your house. We want to do the community's business. Help us to do it properly. So I pray in Christ's name.
And the flag is on. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. So having mentioned all those things that are on today's handout or agenda, I want to know if there's any citizen comments on agenda items. If you have those cards, if you have any, then you can pass them out. And then I'll call you. I'll call on you to say what you need.
No cards?
Okay. Okay.
They want some time.
Alan, collect the cards.
Sure. Thank you.
Would you like me to hand this for them to see the agenda?
You have an extra one, you can give it. Yeah, that's good.
We actually got it.
Because I only have one, I need this one.
Mr. Parsley.
Oh, is that some more?
Mr. Parsley.
Oh, got it. Oh, you're on the committee.
Sorry about that.
I'll take them.
Yeah.
I stole my sign myself. You left your sign at the office.
Yeah.
Give me the sign, I'll make you another one. No, I forgot to bring it.
While we're waiting for those comment cards at this time, I'm just gonna ask if of the members to approve the agenda or disapprove it or add to the agenda, whichever is first.
I have a comment about the agenda. Being an officer, it was emailed to me. I tried to download and print it, and I was told on my computer, this is a protected email or protected document. You cannot add to it, you cannot download it, you cannot do anything with it. I couldn't download it.
Which one?
I sent an email.
Yeah.
The agenda.
Which one?
The agenda.
Yeah.
I could download everything else. I could not download or print the agenda. And the thing that came out says, this is a protected document, period. I tried jumping through hoops, my computer wouldn't let me download.
Yeah, it did come in protected, but I was able to copy and paste.
Yeah, I did that same.
I couldn't copy, I couldn't do any work.
I didn't even get one.
Edition's very
I didn't
straightforward.
get
Do you want a copy? Can you pass?
How come some people got them and some didn't? Okay.
Well, I think Lori just broke the code. If your settings are extremely high, it's going to protect you from downloading those things. Mine are extremely low, so mine printed out without anything.
I didn't even get it.
Yeah, and the list where it says so many different
Not
things,
at
I
all.
didn't get the agenda part. I got a lot of other things, but I didn't.
I got everything, yeah, I got the whereas, and I got the veterans parking thing, and I got the new bylaws and the treasurer, but I did not get it in there.
All right, so the agenda is the main concern. We'll fix that problem. If you have one in front of you and you have, you've seen it at this point, I'm asking right now to,
On the agenda, I think that you wanted to add, under, where did you have it? at?
citizens' comments on agenda items, I put card/turn-in
Yeah,
3 minutes.
That's okay. but,
That's one, and then this one.
Under new business,
Yeah.
executive committee meetings.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So under new business, add the executive committee meeting as A. Any other items in new business or agenda changes? Then I'll move they be approved as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Problem? Sector report, the January minutes. I heard about the agenda. Did anyone not receive the minutes? Okay, safe. Okay, Phil did not receive the minutes. Everybody else did.
Everybody else received the minutes?
Yeah.
You forgot?
Any concerns, any problem? Haven't seen none at this point.
Motion.
We're gonna ask to approve or,
Motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Minutes being approved. The treasurer's report? Phil.
I have a question on the treasurer's report.
I submitted a treasurer's report, it went out to quite a few people, but it went out on Excel because I didn't get the information from Damon until last Wednesday. So I had to go through what he did, and I got the bank statement on Thursday, and I did a treasurer's report in Excel because that's a program I had, and I didn't have enough time to go through and reinvent the wheel.
You don't have
So
it?
it went out in Excel.
Let me explain what transpired. Our previous treasurer, either he couldn't answer or he couldn't find the packages at the moment, and we waited until Thursday to go and get all the information transferred over on our own. We went to the bank and we did that, and we got the information from the bank, which Robert's talking about right now. And he'll be willing to give you the treasurer's report if you have the amount right now.
I have it, I
Okay.
know it went out, but it went out in Excel.
Okay,
So if people don't have Excel, they couldn't get it, but if they have Excel, they can print it out.
Right.
okay.
Yeah, I got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
So, Robert, would you go ahead?
The reason I asked, it looked like you did your report over the top of Damon's.
And in some cases, his previous report printed out, but I sent a supplement out that did go out, and I also sent it back to myself, and it came out mine.
Right. I got this too. I guess my problem was when I looked at the spreadsheet, what I saw for the last figure was not this figure.
The
And I
report,
was wondering if you had actually checked the numbers first.
the report I sent out based upon the statement that I finally got from the bank.
Yes.
Ending balance of 1/31/2016. That comes straight from the bank. And that ending balance is $1,464.68, which was identical to the ending balance of 12/31/2015. No additional deposits, no checks written out. That's straight from the bank. And I got that statement when I went to the post office, and I opened up the post office box, and I pulled that statement out. We tried to get that statement from the bank, and the day we were there, their system was down. But that is officially from the bank.
Thank you. I move we receive the report to audit.
Second. All in favor? We don't have a guest speaker today, so we're gonna move on to committee reports, first and second vice presidents. These are on website, fundraising and membership, publicity and marketing, council-sponsored events, roads and transportation, and all those other areas there. I know that, look, we have, sometime in the past, we have depended on the individual areas to present their reports, but really, truly, what needed to have transpired is the first vice president has all these areas, X amount of areas, that they will get a report from members of those committees. And they normally would brief us. And if they have a question, they will ask a member from that committee. Same with the second vice president. But knowing that that has, go ahead.
Well, I was going to just go ahead and just go down the list of my
There you go.
committees and just ask Jim if you had anything that you wanted to let us know about Parks and Rec.
No,
Parks and Recs.
the same program we offer, a lot of activities, a lot of programs. I'm here for Debbie tonight, and next month, Anissa from 2020 will be your guest speaker, and the month after that, I think Debbie will be here. Yeah, I believe she told me yesterday, that will be her last one that she's gonna retire.
Is that right?
That's what she said. But,
How many years has that been?
I think she's been here 30 years, because I was hired about 5 years before she got here, so, and I'm going on my 35th now, so she's been here 30 years.
Good for her. Bad for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good for her.
Yeah, so,
Anybody have questions of Jim? Okay. Roads and Transportation, Ron?
I did submit a report. I don't have a copy of the report, but I'm hoping that everybody got it. Summary of the report basically is talking about some of the interim improvements on State Road 82. You guys know that widening is coming on 82, but basically from Lee Boulevard all the way to Shawnee. But then there are also turn lane improvements. For example, State Road 82 and Homestead. And also Corkscrew and 82. They're also talking about putting some cautionary signs because of so many crashes happening on 82. You know, like they are talking about putting signs maybe 1,000 feet before you get to an important intersection. And they're also talking about at night time when you're traveling, some of the signs would have something like that illuminates when the beam of light from the car falls on there, so that way you know like you are approaching an intersection. Also, what I have provided as part of the summary report were two intersections with a lot of crash issues. One is the Cemetery and Buckingham, and the other on Joel and State Road 8. Now, the crash analysis were conducted in those two particular intersections as part of a roundabout study that the Lee MDO is actually conducting. We are actually conducting the roundabout study that involves 18 locations countywide. So as far as Lehigh Acres is concerned, the locations are Joel and State Road 80, Cemetery and Buckingham, and Gunnery and Buckingham. But these two particular intersections, Cemetery and Buckingham, Joel 80, are really bad intersections. When you're talking about Joel and State Road 80, most of the crashes that are happening is westbound left to southbound Joel, and northbound Joel to westbound 80. So anyway, those were studied as part of the roundabout operational study. So there's still a lot to go as part of the roundabout study, because the next step that we are doing is basically operational analysis and then developing conceptual drawings for all of these different intersections. So maybe next meeting I might have some conceptual drawings for these 3 intersections for you guys to look at. But it's nowhere near, I mean, you should not be assuming that something is going to happen at those particular intersections. It's just a study at this particular point in time.
However, the improvements that Ron talked about on 82 will all be done this year. So they're all funded to be implemented in 2016.
Okay, Ron, when we do the consecutive drawings and the funding, are they all going to be basically identical so that when they move from one step to the step, they won't have to reinvent and everything's going to join up where they don't have to tear it out and rebuild it again?
That is correct. If any of those specific intersections eventually is recommended that roundabouts should be constructed, we are going to take into consideration what is the future improvements proposed as far as the road is concerned. Is it part of a 4-lane widening?
Right.
So that roundabout is actually going to take into consideration the fact that this is going to be a 4-lane widening.
Right.
For example, Joel and State Road 80. I mean, you know, Joel,
Yeah.
that section is going to be widened eventually.
Right.
But we don't know what point of time. It's not
Right,
been
but
funded.
the conceptual drawing should be done from point A to point B, so you have an idea as what we're gonna do in sections for the entire conceptual drawing of the entire road, so people will have an idea what it should look like instead of having conceptual drawing done in parts.
Well, the conceptual drawings are going to reflect what is going to be done as part of the roundabout for that particular location. It's not going to be like 2 miles out from either side on the side street or the primary street.
Yeah,
It's
we're
just
talking
that
about
intersection.
82, yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Okay.
Tammy, you had a question?
Actually, he said it was conceptual. I was going to ask if it was going to be a 2-lane roundabout, but it was conceptual. You don't know the answer to that question.
We have an idea. The conceptual, most of them are going to be a single lane roundabout. The ones that we're talking about at Cemetery of Buckingham and Gunnery and Buckingham are going to be single roundabouts.
Right.
However, the Joel and 80 is a different issue. I mean,
Right.
it's going to be 4-lane, 2-lane roundabout.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got a couple questions on that. When did you say it was going from Lee Boulevard to what?
Shawnee.
Lee to Shawnee.
To where?
Shawnee. That's
Shawnee.
basically east of Daniels Gunnery.
East of there.
Yes.
It's next road.
And when, you have any dates of this happening this year?
2080.
No, I'm talking about the ones that are already approved for this year, 2016.
Yeah, those are 82 and Homestead. Basically, we're talking about left turn,
That's already started.
yeah, and then corkscrew in 82.
And Monroe County's already started their 4-lane.
Correct.
Well, that's Henry County.
Henry County.
Henry County.
Right.
Yes.
So Lee County, it'll be the first time, it'll be 2018. But I'm not talking about.
That's
you
the
know,
widening.
Yeah.
He's talking about the widening.
In 2018.
But not the improvements on 82 that he talked about earlier.
Okay.
Signage, certain road
Yeah, the
improvements on
signage, I think,
intersections.
And the other sections, we are hoping, I mean, like east of Daniels Gunnery to Alabama, that would be 2022. And then Alabama to Homestead is also going to be 2022. I know it's a long way out, and we have been trying to get the state to show some more interest and possibly, like advance the construction of at least the roadway section within Lee County, because the next is Henry County. It's already been widened. So Collier is going to take a while, east of Henry County all the way to State Road 29. That's going to take a while.
And that's a separate MPO, by the way.
Right,
Yeah.
Separate county.
yeah. Collier beat us.
Okay, now there's some committees that I don't have chairman of: community development, code enforcement, health, education, and welfare, and beautification. So if there's members that are sitting on this board that would like to serve on any of those particular committees, I'm going to ask you to please let me know. And if I don't hear from anybody, then, being an old Marine, you get conscripted into the Corps. And so you will be assigned a committee of which you may not have a choice. So I guess what I'm saying politely is, if there's a desire to be involved in community development, check out your bylaws and your policies, see what that committee's all about. Let me know if you're interested. Same with code enforcement, health, education, and welfare, and beautification. And that's all of my committees, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Question. Right now, you don't have anybody
Yes.
heading code enforcement.
That's correct. That's correct.
And you didn't send a report, or at least I didn't get one.
No.
They have done.
Again, I'm not sure why that broke down, but
I'll try to remember to send them an email tomorrow and ask what's happening with that.
Thank you very much. Dan.
So the question is, how many areas do we not have somebody heading those committees?
I'm sorry,
For now, 4.
The ones that he named,
that I'm missing.
Yeah.
I'm missing 4.
Okay.
Community development, code enforcement, health, education, and welfare, and beautification.
Okay.
The beautification committee went out and repainted the sign in the middle of the night. They have disappeared.
Okay.
Those scoundrels can't be found. Sorry, officer, we didn't do that. It wasn't us.
but they did us justice by doing what they needed to do.
In the bylaws, you said there's a description of what they're supposed to do.
In the policy,
I don't-
policies are the descriptions of the committees.
How do we get the copy of the policy?
It was sent out with the information on the 8th, with all of the 13 different topics, policies and procedures was in there.
So if you didn't get it,
We'll make sure that you get
You
it.
need to look at your email because,
How many people are required to serve on each of these committees?
well, it starts with 1 and then there's no limit. Because then I really don't, I think the beautification committee consisted of maybe 4 or 5 members from this committee, but we must have had 7, 8 other people that joined for that particular function.
If I may, Mr. Farsi, if you cannot find it on your email, you should be able to find it on the website.
And if by chance any of you
Policy
cannot
and
get them, we'll make sure we
It's on the
Follow
website,
up.
so if you're missing some part of it, go on up there and print it down.
And that gives a description of
Okay,
each
second
thing?
vice president report.
and that and I know you're new to this, but
Right,
go ahead.
right.
Did you want us
Well,
to
as
do
I
this for
was
you?
asking just on the different committees.
No, it doesn't.
So here's what I'll do.
You have, your committees are the youth council,
There's
Yeah.
no description.
articles of incorporation, bylaws, and elections. And I'm not sure if you appointed Mr. Saul to be chair of that committee. So you have one of your chairmen is Bob.
Election.
And who's on your committee, Bob?
I have no idea.
Okay. Who was on your committee last
That
year?
might help.
Just
Okay.
Just you?
The only thing you don't have on there, that's what I have on
They
there.
sent out a list of the committee memberships.
Yeah.
I didn't put that one on.
But
All right.
okay.
Don't go to
Well-
the meeting at work.
Okay, see that.
So if you want to transfer that.
So it was the two of you for that one
Yeah,
committee?
sure.
All right.
Elections and bylaws, right?
Yes, on the election and bylaws.
I was doing the bylaws.
Yes, you're on that committee.
Yeah.
So some of you have signed up for committees. I
So
guess
here's
that's-
what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to each area so that we can assist the second vice president on it at this point.
I gave him the list of those. We have it. He's going to transfer the ones that are his. We should be.
Were any of those, some of them missing children here? Oh, okay.
What you got is the same thing everybody else has.
Okay.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna give you the information on architectural review, the Architectural and Zoning Board, ARB. I'll tell you that this month, we have had no projects come up before the board. So we did not have a meeting on that. Last month, I briefed you on some of the projects that came about. And I re-mentioned the seafood place because they had on Lee Boulevard, they had to do an addition to their part of their structure in the back. I had mentioned also last month, in fact, Robert came to us and he asked us, one of the newspress people, the Gazette folks, came and he gave us a little briefing on the new medical facility that opened up last week. I think they had their ribbon cutting. So Robert was kind enough to give us that information. And I'll tell you, some of the information on the Architectural Review and Zoning Board, some of them bypass our committee. They go directly to the county and/or they go directly to the commissioners, so that you all know. When they get some of these businesses in, they go to them before they come to us. And if they approve them, we have very little or no say at all on it. So having talked about, go ahead, you had a question on that?
Not on that, I mean, we're going so quickly on this. I just got the policies and procedures manual, and it's 2 pages, and it doesn't give descriptions of what
No.
each thing is.
There's,
12 or 14 there.
the one that was sent out, I'm gonna look at them on an actual computer, and then I can read the documents more, and I'll send them out to everyone. There's not a lot of description on a lot of the committees. We tried to go through a lot of that year before last, and it's just a matter of, going ahead and taking the bull by the horns, discussing it with the executive board of the president, and just making sure that,
Well, should it, to make it easier, maybe like if the first vice president or second vice president are in charge of certain,
then you can just go to them. But yes, it's, like I said, I'll get what I can. It's in the Dropbox folder, but I don't want to sit here and read it all on my telephone right now. So I'll go through it and send out what I have.
All right, and here is how, and I think that's a good way that you have expressed it. Here's what we'll do. Because we're all responsible volunteers, what we can do, because some of us don't know what we all want. For example, beautification, we cannot, that can change anytime you feel that it should change. You make up, you bring it about and say, here, this is what we want. We want to put flowers on Homestead Road. Or we want to do something at the roundabout out there. Or here, let's change all the flags on Homestead Road or Alabama Road. Those are the things that you got to come up with and see what the community wants. But
shouldn't beautification and code enforcement kind of coincide?
They do.
I think some of it does. Some clashes.
Because when I sat on the code enforcement board, that's usually how it works. So, I mean, if that makes things easier, so the first vice president doesn't have to scatter himself amongst a million different people doing so many different things.
Mama, then I have the list of the different committees that we suggested that they meet together because they do cross over
Right,
a little
okay.
bit. So I can send that out again too, so that the leaders of those committees can get together. And instead of everybody going to 15 different meetings, you go to
Good idea.
And have that, so.
Okay, one of the,
Hang on.
Pertaining to election and bylaws, I don't foresee any change in the election. We did that 2 or 3 years ago, and it worked out 2 years ago. This year, we just had a few humps that didn't work, but I don't see any change in that. I think, see the election for next year working the way it should work. Because we worked extensively on getting that updated. Now, in January, when we had a board meeting, we discussed a few things on the bylaws, and I know a couple of the ideas came out, and I'll mention this. One of the ideas that came out was reducing the number of elected members. That was one suggestion, reducing them from 7 to 5 per year. And reducing some of the appointed members, reduce the total number of membership. That was a suggestion, something we might take a look at. And the other thing that was mentioned was maybe only have the elected members vote on policy issues that came up. So these were things that were mentioned and things that we would probably take a look at.
Having said that, you have something
I got a couple of things right
on that same.
one,
Okay.
now. Where we are right now, when I look at the bylaws, Rick has just gone through his 6 committees. Wayne is looking at 6, and there's one that is not covered by anybody as far as I can see.
Which is that?
Architectural review.
Actually, that's community development.
That's community development.
Right.
Okay, so we actually have a separate committee on our website.
For architectural review.
for architectural-
Let me explain what transpired here. A couple of years ago, we joined hands with, I think they were, it's about 2 or 3 years ago, we joined hands with the ARB. They became part of the community council.
No, actually, it was the,
LACP.
LAC,
thank you, Tammy.
thanks. So we joined hands in that matter. And one member of that board normally would come back and give an update on what's going on. And I have been one of those board members. This is why I come and I explain some of the projects that goes on.
The person that originally came is no longer a member of that board, right? So, and they didn't appoint somebody new. I guess.
He actually was
And
not,
with this-
he's not a member of this board, he's still a member of that board, but he's not a member of this board, and that's why they, and we did have discussion about it behind the scenes before, that Muhammad was gonna represent the ARB since he was on both
There you go,
boards.
okay.
that sign that we were looking after the other day, under whose committee that?
Which sign?
Beautification.
The wrong sign that we were trying to maintain for the light.
Well,
That's
Oh.
beautification.
that was the beautification committee. And actually, the guy that chaired that was Bill Martin.
Oh, yes, right.
And what he did is just, he knew that there were certain clubs and organizations that were gonna address that issue. And so he just made sure it happened.
So he's still, I don't see his name down.
That's fine. We'll ask.
Okay, great.
Rick,
So on the-
can you
on
put
the
me down for
bylaws,
health, education, and welfare?
we'll leave
I would be
that
glad
as
to,
it
sir.
is.
Tammy, can you actually send us the whole document again?
Which one?
The policy and procedures or whatever we're
Yeah.
talking about here with all of them? I did get one from Linda on operational.
Now,
I
is
thought
that for
that
the
was the-
bylaws you mean?
Well, this is the bylaws here.
Yeah,
Yeah. But you got, no, I'm talking about the other document.
the policies and
Policies
procedures.
and
That's what I'm gonna do. It's like I said, I wanna look and see, because it's gotta be more
Send
than
it
3
out.
pages.
I think we got a lot of new people there.
Now,
You know.
can I say something on that, please?
On the same issue.
Yes, it
Go
is.
ahead.
Okay, a couple of years ago and last week, or last month, when we sent the notes around, we asked you what division for whatever your committee and what your thought your mission was gonna be, because those that know me, I've asked for the last couple of months, or for the last 2 or 3 years, to come up and tell me what your committee is going to want to do, and how you're going to do your job. Now, it's not for us to tell you what to do. You as a committee chair needs to decide how you want to operate. And like everybody said, we're all adults, we all have other jobs. But I don't need to go around and ask you, did you get this done, do this, so that we can put them in a format so that everybody can do them. And, unless you're a chair or somebody and can get that information, then we can put them out, distribute them, and see if we need to update them or change them. Because I know the ones that are listed now are the ones that came out of the bylaws for the officers and for the election committee and so forth. Right now, that's all that we have.
Thank you, Linda. One of the people who have been going to the Lampstead, and I know that this month they have not had a meeting because it's a holiday and they have rescheduled that.
Oh, they can actually move their meeting?
Yeah, they don't
What a
meet
miracle.
That's fine. Tammy had gone to some of them, and Tammy, if there's anything new or anything you
Well,
want to add to that.
Basically just the fact that they are going to be dealing directly with the county and trying to take over some of the different areas that have been discussed. It's not going to happen tomorrow. A lot of it has to go to referendum and things like that, but by the same token, they are going to be the direct liaison to the county once everything is set in stone. So just, stay informed. They have their website, they have the information on there. I'll try to do more note-taking and sending it out to everybody on this board.
Let me add to what Tammy have just said, and I know Bernard, you just raised your hand. What they have done, the last 3 or 4 meetings, 3 meetings, they had not workshops, but what they have had, they had the street lighting people come up and talk with them. Couple of other areas,
They had a county commission.
they even had the zoning board come up and talk with them, so that they can move forward and see if they can handle it or how they might be able to work with some of these ahead of time so that they can be learning about it. Currently, they're claiming, which I'm sure it's true, they don't know much about any of these areas. All right, they don't know anything about them. So they're having to start fresh. Bernard, and then
So Tammy, you've been to, guessing all of their meetings, right?
Mostly.
So to what end do they want to take on all these responsibilities?
Well, that's just it. They're trying to figure it all out now. They certainly don't want to reinvent the wheel, and they want to make sure they don't take on too much too fast.
Right.
They're probably going to start with things like sidewalks and street lighting before they jump into the major things, because they somewhat deal with some of that stuff already with the canals and different things that they take care of and they maintain. So, like I said, they're trying to figure it out too. We're suggesting that they use groups that are already in place as opposed to trying to make new committees that handle these kind of things. For example, using the street lighting board that's already still there, and just taking them under them as a subcommittee.
I guess I'm looking more towards the future in 10, 20 years. Are they basically looking to take on all the responsibilities?
Probably so, but that hasn't been determined as of yet, but that's the intent
is
of
it
the
essentially just
bill.
written on the wall, this is...
Well, I
we
mean,
want-
but that's good in a lot of ways because we'll have our own voice. We'll have people that are elected by people in Lehigh that are going to be making the decisions for us.
Assumably the board would have more skill than they presently have.
Right.
Well,
Because
and they would-
they're in the water business now.
Yeah.
Water-
I mean, I understand that over time
retention.
they'll grow and get
Well,
the right people on
For
board.
example, Tammy just said sidewalks and things like that. But as Ron would be quick to tell you, the MPO does that, and they spend a lot of money, state money and stuff that comes in, and special funding money that comes in that builds all of our sidewalks. So for them to consider something they know nothing about, they just need to be pointed in the right direction. Hopefully, one of them will become smart someday.
Well, I mean, how does Lee County benefit from, you know, if, you know, they got smart on their end and they figure out how to do it, how does Lee County benefit giving that job away and essentially?
Well, they're not gonna.
Taking those state dollars away from your department.
No, they haven't done that. And
They cannot do
if they're gonna take one, if, for example, sidewalks was something that they were going to take over the responsibility,
Okay.
they have to go to the county and work out how is it gonna be, how are we gonna do it. The county has to sign off on it, and then they gotta put it on a general election ballot, or have citizens vote on whether they want them to do that. So that's the process that takes.
I also want to comment on some of the stuff. If you're talking about sidewalks on local roadways, so that's something that the county, Lee County generally funds them through impact fees.
Right.
So you have impact fee districts and all that. Now, they also have opportunities of submitting some requests to the MPO. I'm with the MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization. So we try to get state or federal funds to build some of those, whether it's a sidewalk or a shared use path or something like that. But one of the questions I do have for Tammy, we're talking about sidewalks,
Right.
building sidewalks. What about trails? For example, the MPO is trying to help Parks and Recreation to secure some funds for the construction of the April Canal. Now, we have targeted source, state funding and all that, but it always helps if there's some extra money, you know, like that, you can do some additional segments of the April Canal construction.
Right.
Is that something also being discussed as part of construction?
The problem, Ron, is that none of those people know.
What to
any of this
discuss.
area.
Yeah.
They don't know anything.
And I think that what we need to bring to light too is they're not trying to take over and make all the decisions on how everything is done. They will certainly be working with the people who are already doing these tasks and trying to work with them in order to get these kinds of things done. It's not taking it away from you and we're just going to start all over again and we're going to figure out a different way to do this kind of thing. It's going to be working with the same entities that are there whenever that is
A
possible.
perfect entity that they have the ability to take is signage. Right now, if my business wants to put out a sign on the road, I got to go to the county and go through 8,244 million hoops to jump through in order to get the approval for a sign. There is nobody in Lehigh Acres that does that. It certainly would be, in my opinion, a great place to start because it provides a local service
Okay.
to the community instead of going through the 10 million hoops down at the county.
So an effective liaison.
Yeah, so that might be an easy swallow. Now, I don't know what a guy that runs a water district knows about signs, but I don't know anybody else in town that knows any more or any less.
Right.
So in my mind, there's a perfect thing that they could take that would be an asset to the community and a betterment to the business community. And there's probably some other things in there that if you looked real tightly, they might do. But I think that I would hope that our people going to their meetings might guide them down a righteous path to take a look at in terms of things that they could get involved in quicker.
And then in that sense, aren't we working essentially in tangent of what they're already trying to accomplish?
Yes, sir.
So then, meeting of the minds?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we hope to accomplish that. Of course, we've just found out tonight that they actually can meet on another night. I mean, that's a miracle itself.
And we'll get to that topic. There was somebody else who raised, I can. Okay. Oh, you did? Okay.
Really quick, do we have anybody that's working with the DOT on this board at all?
Ron is employed by the Metropolitan Planning Organization.
No. I just want to clarify.
He
I'm with
doesn't
the
work
MPO.
he doesn't work for the Department of Transportation, nor Florida or Lee County. But they essentially take marching orders. All of the design work, all the planning work, and all that stuff is done by the Metropolitan Planning Organization.
I'm talking about, who's the pothole guy?
Who's what?
Who's the pothole guy that you go to? That's what I'm talking about.
That's the county.
That's DOT.
That's LEDOT, Lee County Department of Transportation.
We're talking about, I think you're talking about Lee County DOT, this is county DOT, and then you have the Florida Department of Transportation, there's a state Department of Transportation.
All right, because I was on the phone with the DOT inspector,
Okay.
and we have a lot of issues in Lehigh that they're blaming a lot of things on FGUA, and it's going back and forth. So I'm just curious to see, I mean, do we have somebody actually from the DOT that we work with?
Yeah, there's a
Yes.
name, a number
Yeah.
that you can call.
As a council?
I have a name of the supervisor in case you, when you call the local number, the 533 whatever number, I can't remember what the number is right away, but I'll be willing to give you, when you call that number and you're not satisfied with their answer, the receptionist or the person who put you to the area of responsibility, then you can ask for the supervisor, who I have, by the way, is about 3 or 4 months ago, brought before this council to talk with us on different issues, and that was one of the issues, the pothole stuff and the garbage. They're in charge of all that area. I'll be willing to give you
Well, I
that.
already had the number and the name of the inspector, and
Under the supervisor, right?
he jumped right on it within an hour and took care of the
You're
situation.
ahead of the curve. Thanks very much. That's
So I
good.
was just wondering, you know, and what he was talking about before, I mean, what Lance is doing and what we're doing, we're both doing the same thing, but why are we here?
Because they don't have any authorities as of yet. They are
Right.
looking to take over those authorities.
And where does that
we
leave-
certainly need to work in conjunction.
Where does that
with
leave
each other.
our council?
Well, it's the same as it's always been for right now. They don't have any authority as of yet. Once they start getting authority, then obviously we need to start working with them. But, I mean, this is all just in the discussion stages, and they're still looking for community input, and they're still having the little workshops, and they're still doing...
Our relationships with the county and the departments are vast. Okay, their relationships with the county are very limited to water issues and drainage issues.
Yeah.
So they're not in the pothole business today. Won't be in the pothole business tomorrow. You're in the pothole business today. If somebody complains about a pothole in front of their house, you can resolve their problem. You can pick up the phone, call the person that you know, and they'll respond to that issue. That's what the council does.
Yeah, and that's a good explanation of what we are doing. We are representative of the folks out there,
As
of
long
all the
as-
citizens out there.
As long as the citizens know that we are here for a reason and could call upon us or get a hold of us for certain things, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Well, we try to keep it a secret.
No.
Well, there's a lot of people that didn't even know this council existed.
Well, that's true, and that's
But they have to pick up the newspaper. They have to ask
I'll make a
questions
quick comment
in
on
the meetings.
something of that nature.
Yeah.
You
Let-
need a
let
horse to
me-
water, but you can't make them jump in and do the backstroke.
Let me make a quick comment on that. This voluntary group is doing as much as it can to help out there. When we get something, let's say Mr. Jones over there meet me on the street and said, "Oh, Mr. Yassin, do you know anything about how I get this pothole filled or how I get that street light?" Mr. Yassin might say, "No," or if I do, I'll say, "You know what? I know somebody who can get you in touch with it." The information is privy to every citizen in Lehigh because it's public information. But yes, we have a lot of folks who it's better for us to feed them it. They'll come to us. It's like dependency type thing, you know. So the information is out there, and you're doing a great service by taking the information and calling up for them. That's a wonderful service. Phil?
Yes, I recommend we get back to the agenda and the committees reports, please.
Yeah,
We
thanks.
kind of went,
We were on that.
yeah.
Lampstead was the area of responsibility. So, any, yes, on the committee report, Lampstead is on there. And that's the discussion we were having. Anything else?
Not really, other than they are definitely looking for public input on their decisions on whether they take on these things and what they take on first. And they're definitely doing little bites at a time. They're not going to take on any of the planning, development, zoning issues. That's way down the road somewhere. They're going to do little bits at a time and just see how it goes. But it's a way for us to go towards having a voice of our own with the county on how we want things done by people that are elected by the people of Lehigh Acres as opposed to, you know, the county who is elected countywide.
And Tammy, am I right, they also have, like the fire board, they also have announced meetings
Yes.
whereby the entire public is invited. It's just something that we have to be able,
And-
as a council, to say, hey, they have a meeting there, but we don't have to.
And their new website is la-mcid.com. It stands for Lehigh Acres Municipal Improvements Service District.
Come on, give me that please again.
All right, we'll move on.
M as in Mary, S as in Sam, I, D as in David.com.
And
Why
we'll
did I put
move
the
on.
hyphen? I don't know.
Thanks, we'll move on.
Thank you.
That, the meeting that was supposed to be tonight is next Monday.
Amazing.
We'll move on to the next area, which is old business, suggestions on speakers for year or topics. I just want you to know on that topic.
You skipped over fundraising and membership.
Oh, I did?
Is there a chairman that you have,
He's handling that.
who is?
Bob?
Bob's handling it?
What do you mean?
I'm not, but everyone should have gotten the paper about the Friends of the Council.
Yes, I got that.
And that's part of fundraising, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And I think everyone should be encouraged to fill out their check and bring it forth and hand it in as Friends of the Council. I just got one tonight, and I know there'll be a couple more this week, so we can build up our money in the treasury. And I would encourage everyone to hand in their form for Friends of the Council. If you know other organizations that might be interested in becoming Friends of the Council, because I have one I just got from Damon, from the American Legion for $100, and it'd be nice if we could get a couple more. That's what I have to say about fundraising.
Thank you very much. That is a very important part that we had.
Are you the chair of that committee too?
I don't chair any company. She's the chair.
Oh, okay, all right. I just, I don't know.
Thanks very much. On the old business, suggestions on speakers for the year, topics to be brought up. Here's an opportunity that if you think there's something that we can bring up and have here, whereby even the public can come out and listen to and get the information, it would be great if you can suggest that, so maybe we can invite them. I invited already for next month. I took it upon myself to invite the Parks and Rec to give us a total update on what's going to happen on that park that's going on out there by 80 and, what's it, Joel? Yes. Yes, because there was an update that they were going to, by Tuckable Road, that area. So that's the person that's going to come. So if you have any topics that you want to bring up, have discussed, you want to even bring up the clerk of courts, who we've had here also, bring it up because it's information that you might need, that you can go spread out there.
I would suggest that you ask someone from LAMSA to come speak to you about what they're doing as well. And then also,
You can come to the meeting and say.
well, somebody's going to have to figure something out anyhow. And
I think that's a good
because
idea.
they've unfortunately, in no uncertain terms, say they are not going to be changing their meetings other than the January and February ones, which always fall on MLK Day and the President's holiday. But also, I would suggest maybe somebody from the college, one or all of the colleges, to speak and kind of let everyone know what's available to them and the changes that have happened with FSW and then different information about HECU too. So we're becoming very renowned in this area for the colleges that we have as well.
Tammy, what's your feelings on local schools, Lehigh Acres local schools?
Oh, absolutely,
Principals to come in or?
absolutely.
We've had principals and the like.
How would you like this? You want to just keep on verbalizing it?
No,
Would you
here
like
is
to
what,
write
and
to you, or-
I'm glad Phil brought it up. Phil, thank you very much. My suggestion to every one of us, if you have an area that you're interested in and you think it might be interested to all or a few of us and the public, shoot the email quickly. Make sure it goes in the right program, right?
Mr. Green,
Rob?
email it to you.
Sure.
Shoot it to him.
Yeah. I mean, I did send him one this morning, but I don't know.
So that settles that portion of it. Yes.
On that note, hello, folks. If you wait until today to send
Forget
me
it.
something about tonight's meeting, it ain't gonna happen,
Okay, good.
okay?
That's what I figured.
I teach chess. I'm out in the world. I am not sitting at home playing with my computer.
Thanks, Mr. Green. Well said.
But at lunchtime, you should check your phone,
Okay.
but your emails on
Which
your
phone?
phone.
I got an $18 phone. What's wrong with you?
And my phone, yeah, I definitely do not answer my phone during my chess either. Holy cow. I'm sorry, it doesn't help.
Has anybody seen one of these?
Yeah, a long time ago.
I'll move on. Listen, we'll move on.
Jeez.
I am trying to improve on the current phone that I have. They're charging me $18. By the way, I would love to have a $12 phone because of the competition out there. It's an improvement. That's all right. Our next topic was going to be the bylaws, amendments, proposals. I know the last meeting we had talked about it, and go ahead, Mr. Green.
My understanding was that was supposed to come in writing, and if it didn't come in writing, there was nothing to discuss.
And none came in?
I received nothing. I talked to Alan Carpucci to answer a few questions. And as of all research right now, the August of 2011 are the last signed documents. The one that you were all given on the 14th, 2014 are the latest updates that do need to be signed, updated, and made effective as of tonight. They've been in place for 2 years. They should be updated to the website, and at this time, I'll make a motion that they be signed and posted to the website.
Any second to that?
I don't know if that's in order.
Okay, hold on. One minute.
Well, I think,
We had
I think
talked
if we're
about,
adopting the bylaws, there has to be, everybody would have had to receive them.
and the
Well,
five
I
committee
heard
people.
of several people that didn't get them.
No, they
No,
said
policies and procedures.
No, that wasn't.
But everybody got the bylaws?
Yes, everybody
Well,
did.
well, Phil's,
No, I didn't get-
this doesn't mean yes. That means.
Oh,
This is the
Bill.
bylaws?
I sit up there.
Phil, stop making this.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the bylaws in his hand.
Is this it?
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay, I
can't
didn't
see
know
that.
this was bylaws, it didn't say anything.
No, it actually does
Oh,
not
okay,
say
so
that.
everybody has a
Yeah,
copy.
yeah, I have, I read
Okay,
this, yeah.
and
This was
now my
discussed
question would be is if it was mailed out in accordance with the bylaws in advance
in
of-
advance.
of tonight's meeting.
No, I didn't know that.
So I would ask Mr. Green that
What,
question.
what's the advance time we're talking about? 1 week, 2 weeks?
Well, and there weren't any changes.
There were no
Okay,
changes
so
whatsoever.
This is actually the bylaws that were adopted in 2014. So whether we should go back and have the officers at that time sign them, I don't know what the procedure should be.
Or we can update them as of today's date
And
and,
just-
and just make them current as of today's date.
Yeah.
Instead of 2014, make them done, and just strike through the date at the very bottom on the last page and put
Less
today's
than, less
date.
than 10 days is your question. Yeah, less than 10 days. If we got them with 10 days' notice, then I think that the motion would be more.
All right, and I also just got a fancy program where people can sign electronically too. So
I
if
would
you
love
want
to
me
do
that.
Send it to everybody,
Yeah.
all the officers to sign, then I can do
I
that.
like that. I second that motion.
You second the motion?
Yeah.
Guy didn't know he had the bylaws.
Yeah, I didn't know, I read them.
The guys, 5 members were part of that already. Alan, did you have something?
I get the answer.
Okay, you had.
I actually got a
Okay.
signed copy.
Thank you, Mohammed.
You got 2014?
I don't know if this would be brought up at this particular time on any of the committees or not, but I think it's worthy that we are aware of something that I was told by excellent background, that in Collier County, they are now trying to put something together again to start a mine in Collier County.
All right, this would not be the right, it can come up later?
No, it is now in a situation of getting all the information, what to do, this and that and so forth, like we did a few years ago. But he says they are right now, Steve, I know that you were involved in it, so I said yes, but he says he didn't want any names mentioned. I just thought we should know about it. If there is something in fireworks, to go ahead and redo Route 82, because that's going to have to be if we put the mine in.
All right, we'll come back to that one, because I know a lot about it. I went to one of the meetings recently. That was a project that had been stopped and it's coming back
Talk about the
again.
bylaws.
Yes, I
Yeah,
told him
let's
that
talk
that's
about
going to
the bylaws.
stop. Yeah, that's what I told him.
That's all
All right.
right.
There's a motion, there's a second,
Second,
Now, question.
and I'm assuming that the intent of the motion was to execute those bylaws that have been...
Tonight's date.
Okay.
That was approved in 2014.
But there's been no changes since 2/14 until today's date. So we can update that date until tonight's date, and since those individuals may not be here,
Call the question, Mr. President.
let's get
call for the vote.
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Any dissent?
Okay.
Approved?
Thank you.
It's going to be signed. And,
And we hold Mr.
and
Green
the-
responsible for getting signatures?
No, we'll
I'm going to
get
send it so
done.
everybody can sign electronically.
Perfect, perfect,
It's,
perfect.
When we say we're gonna send it to the executive board,
For them to sign electronically.
that means we might be able to come in and get it done right there.
The electronic is a legal signature now,
Okay.
everybody recognizes.
Thank you very much. Under new, no. Bylaw amendments, done, proposal. Meeting date change. Here's what we had talked about last time, so I can remind you. There was a proposal to find out whether or not we can change the days of our meeting. And
Steve,
we have come back with some of us had to go out there and research days that might be available and or places that might be available. I want to let you know, this office, this place is available the first and second Monday of each month. The first and second Monday of each month. If anyone else have a place, and tonight we're gonna do what we gotta do.
Well,
If anyone else has a place and have researched that we can meet there on different days, this would be the time to say.
I hate to be a parliamentary douche on this, but this was brought up, a committee voted on it, and only those people who voted in favor of not meeting any other date than tonight have the ability to make a new motion. Doesn't matter. I didn't say me. I said the only people that can bring it up are those people that voted in favor of this night. And if you were on the opposing side, if you voted to change the meeting, then you can't bring it up. Okay, so that's parliamentary law. So you're going to follow that in order to bring this issue up. Now, I wasn't there, so you're going to have to rely on the people that were here. As I understand it, there were only 3 or 4 people that voted against it, and everyone else voted for it. You can put it on the agenda, you can't vote on it.
Tonight is,
Yeah.
so,
You can't put the motion on the table to change the meeting unless you voted against it.
Point of order. Do we have a roll call vote to prove that?
I would imagine there are minutes somewhere.
Do we have a roll call vote to prove it? If you don't have a roll call vote to prove it, it's moot.
No, it's
Anybody
not.
can bring up the motion.
No, sir, you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
All right, here's,
Prove to me with a roll call vote. Who
Find
voted
minutes
for
of
it,
the
who
meeting,
voted
and find
against
out
it?
who was at the meeting. It's that simple.
There's not a roll call vote. It probably is in the minutes.
It was a
It's not
voice.
roll call vote. It was a yea or nay.
Yeah.
It was never being thought, it
Because
was
the
mentioned to
honesty
be
of
put on
three
the
people.
agenda for this month.
Yeah. Honesty of three people. But they know who they are.
all right, here's where we stand. It was mentioned, it was proposed to put it on the agenda for tonight. And here it is, and that's the question I posed to you guys, reminding you what we had done.
My church is willing to do it, but to be all honest with you, I'd rather go with the second Monday here.
I like that.
I'm voting for the first Monday.
And I vote for the third Monday, so now what do we
There you
do?
go.
But our third Monday would conflict with the water,
Yeah. And our second
because they're
Monday-
meeting on the.
And that's why we brought it up, to not have it.
They're
on the
not
third
gonna
Monday.
be here if we changed it anywhere. They're not gonna come.
All
So then
right,
why are they on the board? Why are they on the
They are not
council?
our problem.
all right. Well, I think I've said this at the very beginning of the meeting, prior to, we'll stick with Robert's rule right now. And here's what we'll do. There was a suggestion of the first, second, and
Who's gonna make
a
the
third
motion?
third.
Who's gonna make a motion to change?
Can I mention something before? Just to reiterate some information, you mentioned that there's a couple of Mondays we can't meet, one of them because of the water board meeting, and there's another Monday, someone else's meeting. So that would be like either the first or the fourth Monday.
The first
That
Monday,
can't happen.
Orville can't because the Caribbeans meet that
Right.
day.
Second Monday is our Kiwanis board meeting.
Okay.
I will never be here.
And the second is what?
Kiwanis board
Kiwanis
meeting.
board
So
meeting.
Damon and I
I
are,
would resign.
there you go, Phil's on that board.
Does it have to be on Monday?
That's the only day.
I'm waiting for someone to make a motion,
Right.
because I know who you three are.
Listen, let me go back to this here again. I brought about that we were supposed to go, those of us who think we can find a different day, not date, day of the month, and a place available, you come back with that information here. I brought about tonight 2 days that this place is available because I researched this place and 3 other places. So, having said that, Mr. Green, you brought about which day?
Well, I said the second Monday, but that was not. known.
At your church.
There was- There is a conflict, so.
Okay,
We can keep on searching.
so, go ahead.
He's saying the first and second is available, so is the third, because that's when we meet. So you got the first, the second, and the third, but I'm waiting for somebody to make a motion. I mean, we're spending a lot of time yapping here. I don't hear anybody making a motion to change the meeting date. Therefore, I know who you are.
I think they're trying to figure out what date would be the best, within that or the location. If it's available any other day.
There was before
What's the purpose of
here,
changing
and we were checking, we didn't check, but there are Fridays that are available, but previously the board had said they weren't interested in meeting on a Friday night.
From what I can remember, the reason why it came up is there were certain people going to certain meetings on the third Monday. And we discussed it. Okay? I make a motion to keep it on the third Monday.
I'll second that motion.
And as long as we get reports from the people that are not attending
If
because
he
they're
wasn't
attending
at the
other
meeting,
meetings.
so he can make the motion. And I wasn't there, so I can second. And if I was at the meeting, I would have voted on the prevailing side anyway. So that is a legal motion, sir.
All right, would you restate your motion?
I make a motion to keep the meetings on the third Monday in accordance, as long as the people that are not attending on the third Monday that have to go to other meetings, report back to us of their findings, like we discussed 2 meetings in a row. So I make the motion to the third Monday, as long as those provisions are put in there. Do you agree or disagree?
And you're seconding that.
That's absolutely the correct thing that we talked about, decided to do.
All right, listen,
Keep doing the same thing.
well, we're not gonna take a roll call on it. We're take a voice call on it, all right? And then, actually, but he already seconded, so.
Let's vote on it.
Very done.
Hold on.
Okay, it is to keep it on, if it,
Here's what you do. You call all in favor, people are gonna vote.
yeah.
You call all opposed, and if there's two people that oppose, you put their name in the minutes as opposing. Everybody else that's in attendance has been affirmed.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against? Some people didn't oppose. Listen. Let's do it over. Raise your hand higher, please. All in favor?
I know you said that.
I just got it right there.
No, it's 10. All against? That's the correct number. Okay.
So what's the answer?
It's the third Monday. Keep
The
it
motion is approved.
for the third Monday.
And for the minutes, I would ask that the 7 people that dissented, put their name appeal appear in the minutes.
What's 7?
It was going around the table, Tammy, Alan, Tyler. I saw Bernard's hand was up,
Okay, that's what
and Carol's hand was up. You voted
Opposed.
against the motion.
And then Lori and Mohammed.
And Lori's.
Because you all attend other meetings at that night, right?
No. Some do.
So the question that, well, the motion had been approved by a 10-7 vote to keep it on the third Monday. The initial statement as to there was a conflict, and I'm just going to make a comment. The initial statement as to conflict of the LAMSIT board and the people wanting to go to that, you know, at this stage, it has failed because that was the intent of this year, for the meeting to be held. And I will let you know, I for one would have liked to go to the LAMSIT board because I think they are moving in the right direction for all of us.
Will you get that opportunity next 2 months?
Well, we can bring it back up.
Unobstructed.
We can bring it back.
It's
Just next month.
No, just this month, it's
So,
on the next one.
Okay, so thank you all very much. We'll meet here the 31st, whatever that next meeting date, it's right there.
Any cards for speakers?
Oh, good. On the new business was to set up an executive committee meeting.
Pick a day.
I'm
Can
never
everybody
gonna,
meet at 5 o'clock, or 5:30?
Mr. Wade? Wade?
Yes.
5 o'clock good? Which day?
To me,
Executive.
right, we want to.
Well, we could go in anybody's office, because there's only 5 people.
Or Dunkin'
Or
Donuts,
6
whatever.
people, or Dunkin'
I'd like
Donuts.
to come to them.
You like?
I need Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay,
I know.
What day of the week?
which day?
Um,
Monday, Tuesday?
Can we just do do this like through an email and I'll figure out a date through an email as opposed to taking up the committee's time?
I
Well,
think
I'm
it's
just
good.
looking at 4 people, you know, I mean, that's all I have to make a decision.
6 people.
Who else works a regular day job?
Just me and you.
Well, it would have to be, if it's at 5 o'clock, it would have to be Tuesday or Friday for me.
Let's do it Tuesday, let's do the
Better check the calendar.
second, let's see, what, you mean the 3rd Monday? How about the 2nd Tuesday of the month? Bob? 2nd
Just
Tuesday
check
of
our
the
calendar,
Okay.
because we have a lot of miscellaneous cooking.
So we're going to talk about March.
2nd Tuesday in March.
We won't be here.
Okay. Tuesdays would have worked for me anyway.
Tuesdays don't work for you? What did you say?
Tuesdays or Fridays, if it's at 5 o'clock, if we do 5:30, I can do pretty much.
Oh, 5:30, you can do almost anything, you say?
2nd of March, what time?
Bob's got a problem with this, with March.
Oh,
The whole second week of March, we're out of here.
Oh, you back on a cruise again?
No, we're gonna be in California on the set.
How about the first
That's the
Tuesday?
first Tuesday, which is March 1st.
Okay,
First Tuesday,
but he said he can't do Tuesdays.
How about Wednesday?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Let's do Wednesday the 2nd, does that work for everybody?
Which is that?
Wednesday the 2nd.
that's fine.
5:30?
Yeah,
5:30 at,
we can either do Dunkin' Donuts or my office, when anybody wants to.
what, do Dunkin' Donuts?
Doesn't make any difference to me, I don't eat concentrate.
On a Wednesday. Here, this is what we're gonna do. The 6 of us will mail each other those days so that we don't hold up everyone. We'll mail each other those days that we are available at that time.
Okay,
That make sense?
yeah,
Done with that issue.
okay.
Last item.
You asked for cards?
Get those cards.
That's for,
Oh, I know, speeding, residential streets, bike paths, sidewalks. Somebody, who did that one?
That was me.
Let me just make sure we all understand here. They speak, we don't. Okay.
I've only lived in Lehigh for a year and a half. I came out of Collier County after 3 years. I live on Fillmore Avenue. Fillmore Avenue runs parallel to Leland Heights Boulevard. They use Fillmore Avenue as a bypass to get around the traffic light at Leland Heights and Alabama. I have personally seen vehicles traveling at least 70 miles an hour on a very narrow residential street. I know the sheriff's department does as much as they can, but something has to be done. We have children on the street now that we didn't have before. We have people walking dogs at night. The street lights, half of them don't work. Somebody's gonna end up getting hurt.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If you would, put your name on the back of that card,
Yeah,
give it back to Mr. Green.
There's one here on code enforcement. Why are some getting cited and not others? And then the second part was park and rec. Fees too high for some.
We live out,
Just-
off of North Side of Sunshine. You'll see code enforcement out there, and they will be citing certain trucks in the same houses over and over again. But yet you see the same tractor trailers week after week, day after day, parked right along the roadways, and they remain there for days, weeks on end, and code just drives right past them, letting them all sit there. And the other one is I'm a member of PIF. I don't know how many you know about the Lehigh group. But we have many members who would love to use the recreation facility, the programs. They can't afford the cost after registration, they can't afford the cost for classes, you know. Is there some, I mean, scholarships or other options that they can find to lower the costs?
For the recreation, or the...
All right, what I'm gonna ask, ma'am, if you can, and all these cards, I'm gonna put your name on it. We'll get some response for you. Please put a phone number that we might be able to contact you back to with.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. There's two questions here. Hit and run on Joel, why they wouldn't take a witness statement, sidewalk and or bike path. Then the second part is alerts when they are looking for people.
I'm part of the PIFLA group. I'm here on behalf of Tracy. Saturday, Tracy's son was hit by a hit and run. Saturday afternoon. Sorry. She's in Miami. Her son has a collarbone that is broken 2 places. The C3 in his neck is fractured. Between the C2 and the C6, all the tendons are all stretched out. They don't know what to do first. Fix his neck, the fracture, he has a neck brace on, he's starting to feel numbness throughout his body. There is a witness that stayed with Giovanni while the paramedics came. Tracy called, and he called Tracy and told her what was going on. This witness has been trying to get a hold of somebody to tell them what he has seen. They will not return his call. The police report says personal injury. Giovanni doesn't know what happened. Granted, he's not the well-behaved kid. He's 16 years old. You know, he likes to push his parents' buttons. But the kid doesn't remember what happened. Not at all. There's no bike paths on Joel. There's no sidewalks. Nothing for them to walk or ride their bikes. Somebody is going to get killed. One of these kids are going to get killed. The other night, there was also someone that posted on our page that she was approached by a man with a gun wanting to rob her. We need alerts so that people can, even just like the Amber Alerts, something, so people can get lookout for these vehicles. They want citizens to help. We need some kind of information to get out to these people. I mean, even if it is like an Amber Alert, hey, we're looking for this person, anybody sees it, call. Something. But, like I said, Tracy would have loved to be here, but unfortunately, she's stuck in Miami.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We are sorry to hear that. The last card is, go ahead.
Fixing potholes, why can't we get potholes fixed? More street lights, why are there no street lights on roads where kids catch the bus, main streets? The young lady in the pink.
Yes.
Name and phone number.
Okay. Potholes are terrible. When you drive anywhere on any street in Lehigh, unless it is an actual main street like Lee Boulevard or Homestead, you have to drive like you're a drunk driver, or you're going to end up spending thousands of dollars to get new tires, front end alignments, new rims for your car because you've busted up everything. Why is it that we can't get potholes fixed in this community?
with as many people that live here and as much tax dollars that we should be able to get our potholes fixed. So I have to spend $7,000 or $8,000 a year to get tires for my car, replace the rims where it's gotten busted because I've hit a pothole that's knee deep and is almost big enough to swallow my whole car. I don't understand this. I don't understand how we don't get as much revenue as what we should, and they pick and choose which roads they want to fix. Every road in Lehigh is important. That's someone's house that, you know, they can't get to their house because they have to drive through a pothole that's big enough to swallow their car. So why is it that certain parts of Lehigh get their potholes fixed and certain parts don't? It's not fair to everyone else. My car is just as important as your car and this person's car and that person's car. I don't want to have to look like I'm driving drunk and get arrested because I'm dodging potholes to keep from messing up my car. I don't want to hit somebody trying to dodge a pothole so that I don't mess up my car. 23rd Street is the worst. There's no street lights, and you've got all these kids that catch the bus on 23rd Street. There's no street lights. There's no sidewalks. They walk in the road because they don't want to get their shoes dirty, but we can't see them half the time because they wear black jackets or dark gray jackets, or the uniform shirts are dark green or purple. You can't see them if their kids are messing around and they push each other in the road. And I've personally seen this at 6 o'clock in the morning. Kids are laying in the middle of 23rd Street because they don't want to sit over here on the grass because they don't want to get wet. They're messing around. I don't want to hit somebody's kid and we can't see them because there's no street lights. How do we go about getting street lights for that area?
Thank you very much.
Here's what's going to happen. A member of our council will contact each of you that spoke tonight, and we'll have answers to your questions. So those that addressed issues that the sheriff's department are involved in, you'll hear from the sheriff's department. Those of you that had issues with regards to street lights, you'll hear from Mohammed, who that's what he does. And the other issues, potholes, code enforcement. Phil, 2 years ago, I think you served as chairman of that committee, didn't you? Yeah. So you're going to hear from Phil.
No. That was 10 years ago.
No conversation. Let those people answer.
I need to go to the sidewalk out. Areas, and then you guys gonna get some feedback. Thank you all very much.
3 of the 5, 4 of the 4.
You got all five, because 4 of them were
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm missing 1 card.
different.
Mohammed, I don't know if this is the time to say it, but it isn't, let me know when. I got some good news about code enforcement.
All right, we've had the cards. Those cards will be answered like I indicated. I'll let you know that we'll move on a little bit here because we might be running out a little time here. I know some folks walked in a little late, but here's what we'll do. We'll move forward for board member comments at this point, and I'll start from. I'll go from right. Laurie, Carl. Sheriff, we know we give you enough trouble. You getting cards?
No trouble at
You
all.
had anything else? Richard.
That's yours.
Board member comments.
If anybody wants to contact me, or you want me to contact anybody about the pothole situation, and I'd like to get with you, Rick, on
I'll send to you via email what the Health Education and Lumber Committee encompasses from the, I found all the stuff, so I'll just cut and paste it.
Phil?
The only thing I can say is that I really miss Larry on this council because he always brought up a little humor about what the police department was doing, the sheriff's department, I'm sorry, about the crime in the area. That's all I have. We do miss it.
We do have, I will say, we do have a new crime practitioner. She's being trained right now. She's just not out here yet, but soon.
Thanks.
Yeah, Larry brought her to our Kiwanis meeting there.
Yeah,
And I think we scared her.
Yeah, okay.
Set her back in training.
She never came back.
Robert, did you have any?
Just one little thing. One of the things that gets skipped occasionally in the ARB, he was mentioning, there's a methadone clinic here in town. They skipped going to the ARB because they went through all the right other channels. They're going where Dr. Custoni's office, I always pronounce his name wrong. Yeah, old office is on Homestead.
Across from
Caldwell Bay.
Bernard?
No, I do not.
Anything?
No, sir. I know they have
Linda? Taylor? Mr. Part-Timer over there and the cameraman? You got anything? Thank you. Wayne?
I'll be cross-checking if the committee is not.
No problem.
I'll be talking.
No problem. Steve, this is your turn.
Yes, as I think most of you know, I live in Country Club, I've lived there many years, and we've had a lot of infractions done as far as code enforcement. Well, fortunately, in the last 2 weeks, they came in to shut down 4 homes that were selling cars, fixing cars, and so forth, and they said that they had, I think it was 30 days before they start getting fined $250 a day and so forth. And it's unbelievable how well they cleaned up everything and so forth. And we've tried that as residents for years, for a long time. And I say, God bless code enforcement.
Actually, I do have something. You didn't have anything? Okay. I think that a lot of people on this board are missing the point on Lansing and how important this is going to be to Lehigh's future. This is a step towards self-government. This is a step towards municipality and possibly incorporation. Lansing is very important, and everybody really needs to attend these meetings so that they have a voice. If nothing else, then to sit there and let them know that we are watching them, to make sure that the right people get elected to this board so that it's not people that have personal agendas that are making the decisions for the entire city of Lehigh Acres. We are 100,000 people now. We are not the 12,000 people when I got here in 1979. It is going to make a difference, and we really, really have to pay attention to what they're doing because they're going to slide things in through the back door when we're not looking. So I think that it's very important that everybody go to the Lansing meetings.
Thank you very much.
We've got 2 special meetings. We've got one this coming Friday at 5 o'clock, Station 104, special fire board meeting. And then we got a regular meeting the last Tuesday of the month at Station 104 at 5.
Just an update on a resolution that we have, the council had agreed upon. I just want you to know that we all have looked at it. In re-looking at it, I have a copy here. In re-looking at it, the words and the phrase and some of the phrases may have to be adjusted because in talking to one of the pro bono attorneys in fixing some of the language, it needs to be in a certain way. For example, the subject matter that we had, it was not put in the appropriate spot. So what I might do, I might adjust it and then resend it to you prior to going. Prior to it going up before the fire board, before the fire commissioner. Then you'll see again, you'll see it. All the things that we have talked about, some of it repeat itself, and some of it were missing. Some information were actually missing because we really want them to look at it with intent that they're getting something from this board. All right?
I have a question. The press, should I send the agenda to them?
Absolutely,
Please.
absolutely. Mel promised
Who did
me-
you ask? I didn't hear you.
Would you like our agenda before the meeting?
Wait a minute, what?
Huh?
What are you asking? I can't hear you. I
Would
heard
you
word
like the
press,
agenda
that's
prior to
all.
the meeting?
We're gonna send you a copy of the agenda before the meeting.
Well, that's funny, I was getting ready to give you this email address to send me all your
Why don't you just post
correspondence.
it
I know
online?
what you're doing.
Hold on. The problem I have with that is the agenda is not official until it is okayed in the.
Send them the.
Why don't you just put an asterisk on the bottom? Makes no difference.
Makes no difference.
They're big boys, they know how to read it.
Oh, I know that they do, but I think
I
that
get the
everybody.
fire board agenda, you know,
All
we're
right,
not
thanks.
official until the
But
meeting.
that's important, it's gonna come. All right?
Same with the minutes. You can send them the minutes of the meeting, even though we haven't approved the minutes. They understand.
All right. Listen, one additional thing. One additional thing. Did you have any other question in reference to that? No? You're fine. Okay, one additional thing, because I was talking about, I talk about the resolution. One additional thing is that when we meet in this place, one of the things that they have been doing is kind for us. I know it's a place that we will say that we're taxpayers and it's available and all of that. But I'll tell you, we have been doing a great thing in contributing towards a good cause for people out here. See that bucket of food cans out there? We're asking if you can contribute, bring in something, and/or if you want to contribute X amount of, I hate to say, X amount of dollars to say, okay, I paid the whole year. Because for me, I'll tell you, it made life easy for me. I rarely have to bring a can of food unless it's sitting right there. I'd say, here's my $25 for the rest of the year and I'm done.
But where does that food actually go to?
The food goes to the food pantries here, and what it does,
No, which food pantry?
Lehigh Community Services.
Lehigh Community Services. And I know not all of us sometimes get the benefit of it, but somebody gets it. Somebody gets it.
Bring a can of pork and beans.
Anything you can. I'm just asking.
SpaghettiOs.
And as a reminder, friends of the council, I'm going to encourage you to become a member of that council, either a single, a family, or you can have a sponsor for that council. All right? Carl, got one last thing.
I missed my turn. I just wanted to mention, if anybody's interested, tomorrow night, Ray Judah, former commissioner, he's going to be speaking nonpartisan meeting at the Veterans Park, talking about, he's going to give a presentation on the water issue that we're experiencing with the Coosahatchee and the Lako. So if anybody's interested, they can go Veterans Park tomorrow night, 6:30.
6:30?
Yeah. 6:30 in the community room there. I think it might be interesting if you have any comments or questions. So I'm sorry to take another turn.
All right, that's okay. One last thing is that
Actually, I apologize, I forgot too. I don't remember details of where they're going to be, but the Budweiser's Clydesdales are coming here this Thursday from 2 o'clock until 5 o'clock. Does anybody remember where the location is?
Publix, I think.
Publix? I don't remember. If I find it, I'll send it.
Either Winn-Dixie or
We check with the news media.
But it's kind of cool that we're at least getting the Clydesdales. We're getting something.
Mel, you got any clue where it is?
I think it's on Dixie.
Don, do you have any idea where that is?
No, but I did see the Clydesdale Trail, there were a bunch of emails, produce stand on 31.
I'm asking right
I know it's Thursday.
I'm asking right now, Steve.
Okay. The meeting for all intensive purposes, would somebody move for us to adjourn?
Second.